All right, Siri, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, you're obviously one of Adult Time's ambassadors. We work with you a lot, so I'm super happy to be able to have you on this series and get a chance for everybody to get to know you a little bit better.
I grew up doing martial arts, like karate.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about when really far back when I was like a child. I quit when I was 16 because I was tired of having to tell my friends that I couldn't hang out with them because I have karate tonight. But I have brown belts in 2 different types of karate.
Nice.
But 0 black belts. So my roots are in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm very much like a Midwestern Minnesotan girl. And I lived there I was born there and lived there until I was like 12. And then my family moved to Texas to like a very boring suburb. I very much enjoyed my upbringing. I come from a family that's like very musical. My dad was an opera singer when I was a kid growing up, so that was a cool thing. That's like cool. Weird and unique. Like I grew up like going to watch my dad perform in operas like professionally. I remember reading about blowjobs, and that for me, reading about blowjobs, about putting a penis in my mouth, was like simultaneously exciting and horrifying.
Yeah.
And I think that stuck with me. I guess the thing, I got this idea in my head that giving a blowjob was something that required so much skill that I just will never in my life feel good at doing it. So I'm just going to avoid it. Basically I was so academic about how I read about sex that I freaked myself out away from ever wanting to do a lot of things. I mean, for me, probably the biggest one, just as someone who's creating content regularly, is that I masturbate regularly. For background, for anyone who's watching, and if you're not a content creator of sexual content, it's really easy to get into a mindset where it's oh, well, I can monetize that, so I may as well save it for on camera. And doing that with masturbation fucked me up for a minute. When I first came out of retirement, I was filming so much solo content, which partly because I just was oh, I gotta get my bag. But pretty quickly I realized wait, how long has it? It's been 2 months since I masturbated, just for the pure enjoyment of it. And that made me real sad when I realized that. So at that point I decided no, that can't be the thing. I gotta masturbate. I gotta masturbate more often. And just for myself.
How did you have to make yourself a schedule? How did you force that separation so that you could still enjoy sex as a human being?
It's the most disappointingly simple thing ever. I just my favorite vibrator that I own, which is a little cordless wand thing. I simply just made sure that I always kept it charged and in the drawer on my nightstand.
Oh, that is a pro tip.
And I love it when a sex toy company has made their a charging base for a toy or whatever that is cute to display. Mm-hmm. Because I'm I see you, that's the thing. It's you gotta have it there. It needs to be charged. And again, as someone with ADHD, if the thing is cute and I can put it on display, then that's great, because then I don't forget that I have it. I don't know what it's like to be in someone else's body, but I'm so multi-orgasmic that it's sometimes I'm is this bad? Am I gonna faint if I come too many times in a row?
So what's your average number of orgasms per sesh?
If it's in my personal life with my partner, because we're super compatible sexually, my average with him is 8 times probably.
Good.
And each one is topping the other one. So it really does I will do, when I come really hard, I'll his favorite story is that I slap myself. Did not know that I did this. Literally I lost control of a limb, and that limb decided to just slap myself in my face. So it's kind of hilarious.
Randomly flailing arms.
Yeah.
What about when you're solo and you're masturbating? Are you someone that's a one and done, or multiple times every time?
Oh no,
it depends.
Multiple times. Sometimes it'll be multiple times, probably at least 4 times, and then I'll be all right, we're done. Come on, we're good. Or I'll think that I just can't handle anymore. My clit is just ah, and so I'll set down the vibrator, and then 3 minutes will go by, and I'll be
You just got to let the waters calm down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then you go back.
One of the reasons that I love being an ambassador for Adult Time is because I see what you're working on and like the direction that you take with all of these projects. And I'm like, yes, so much yes, because it's needed. And it's better now than it was when I first started out. And I know you know that too. Like we've talked about how much things have changed in the last like decade or so. But it's, I mean, we're always going to need more of that. You know, I see it in like friendships that I have with, you know, other women my age and like hearing their struggles with dating and their sex lives. You know, I just see it in my fans DMing me, you know, and telling me like personal things about their dating relationships. And I think it's, you know, if as an industry, we're not acknowledging that, I don't want to, it's a little politically sensitive to say that our industry is responsible for educating people because that's not the point of us existing. We're an entertainment industry, but also I think it's a little bit naive to pretend that no one is trying to be inspired by watching porn, you know, to allow that to inspire their personal sex lives.
Yeah, we're definitely the default.
Yeah. So maybe we don't maybe need to say like, oh, we're here to educate, because we're not, but like we can acknowledge that we are providing inspiration to people in some way and take that responsibility seriously and try to be the best source of inspiration that we can. And like, we're not doing that if we're not being honest about how women orgasm, how women like to have sex. Which isn't to say that women are a monolith, because obviously we're not, but like there's just been so much misrepresentation for so long that like there needs to be a lot more effort put into like being honest and accurate and like, you know, wait till you see how I masturbate, because it's probably not as interesting as a lot of people think, like, but it's real.
I love that. That is the best selling like sales pitch for your episode of How Women Orgasm. Thank you, Siri. I appreciate you.
Thank you.